It's GameCube Index, and who, me? Oh no, I've got a bellyache! What happens when Daisy Duck gets kidnapped by an evil magician and Donald Duck needs to save her? The same thing that happens when a Disney license needs to be used and the GameCube is picking up speed in the console market. A port of Donald Duck Goin Quackers. Originally released for the Game Boy Color, is essentially Crash Bandicoot with a Disney skin over it. It's a 3D platformer that alternated between decent 2D platforming and unfortunately laid 3D levels. The issues here had a lot to do with the camera, and it's pretty similar to the issues found in Pac-Man World 2. The levels are laid out in 3D moving towards or away from the camera. Not really vertical platforming, but instead of moving left to right, it's forward and back. The problem with this sort of level design is that it employs a static camera, and without the ability to move the viewpoint, it makes depth perception tough to pull off. This results in many seemingly cheap instances of landing a jump into an enemy instead of on the enemy. Thankfully, this frustration is mitigated a bit by the entertaining damage animation that Donald Duck falls into. It's literally a dust cloud with just a bunch of Grolixes appearing around to show Donald's displeasure. Cheap shots aren't even that big of a deal in general due to the fact that the game isn't terribly challenging in the first place. There are extra lives all over the place, enemies are basically trampolines, special moves can be unlocked just by playing a level, and none of it takes very much time. I finished all 22 levels in about 2 hours. The aforementioned special moves are unlocked by playing a level and gathering gear tokens to unlock the letters SPECIAL. This allows you to perform somewhat convoluted moves taught by Huey, Dewey, and Louie by stomping on 3 enemies in a row, pulling the R trigger, and entering a certain button combination. These unlock fun little cutscenes of Donald performing each move, but they take so much to enter that I did never really bother. The use of special moves isn't required to finish any of the levels or even the boss battles, so it seems like they are more of a fun add-on than an integral part of the gameplay. If it sounds like I didn't enjoy Goin Quackers that much, it's because I didn't. There are some pre-existing feelings there. I'm not that big of a fan of Donald Duck, but Goin Quackers isn't just a bunch of trash. It's a fun enough platformer for the younger crowd, who will undoubtedly find the cartoony visuals entertaining and the gameplay to be challenging enough. There was another GameCube game starring Donald Duck, and we'll revisit him again in episode 170. And until then, unless you're incredibly nostalgic or you're looking for a present for a younger sibling is also 2002, there's no need to revisit Donald Duck Goin Quackers. That is it for this week's episode of GameCube Index. If you enjoy the videos every week, consider backing us on Patreon. Even $1 a month will do a lot to support the project and help improve the experience. It's entirely up to you. Either way, please continue to show your support by subscribing, sharing, following along on Twitter at GCNdex and at GCNdex.com. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time as we take another turn out on the soccer pitch in ESPN MLS Extra Time 2002.